Welcome to another double review here at Stiff Upper Lip. This week we will have a theme week. It's licorice theme. 2 snoozes today and 2 snoozes on Saturday, all with a licorice theme. And I've only reviewed a couple of sort of licorice snoozes so far. It's been Nick and Johnny portion and Lundgren's Slim Ice, but they're not really licorice snoozes full on maybe. So now, finally, we get to update ourselves on some licorice snus. Licorice is really popular in Sweden. It's used in sweets and as flavoring. When it comes to snus, I'm going to include 3 things here in licorice, the category of licorice, because they're all used in snus. So first of all, you got licorice, which is a root, and then salmiak, which is a kind of a licorice but salted. So it's flavored with ammonium chloride. And then also I'm going to include aniseed or anise, because some snoozes do use anise. Today we are looking at, and I'm really excited about this is one of the more extravagant reviews for me so far. It is Byron Anis or Anis, aniseed, and General XR Salmiak Slim Large Portion. I was talking about licorice in the Nick and Johnny portion review, where I kind of had my ideas that salmiak is not my favorite in licorice snus, because my favorite snus of all time, before I started doing these reviews, used to be this one. Really like it, and it's got an aniseed flavor. I even tried to get this snus sent to me from Stockholm because I preferred it to General. Having said that, my favorite, sort of what I saw as a proper licorice snus at the time, was General Licorice. And Swedish Match they've gone and discontinued that one, which is really quite sad, because it had a good integration with tobacco and licorice. That one had licorice and aniseed in it. And because I like this one so much, I'm thinking aniseed is my preferred one, rather than salty licorice or salmiak. So now Swedish Match have gone and sort of replaced, in a way, the General Licorice, for now at least, with this one. So while General Licorice was a full price snus, this is a mid-range snus. Byron is a full price snus. So I think it will be really interesting, because it seems like my 2 favorite licorice snoozes so far have had aniseed in them. One of them now been replaced with salmiak. So let's see how they fare, these ones. The General XR is a brand new snus. So it's just been the General Licorice just been discontinued. This one has come on the market really recently. It has got 21 portions. The portions are 0.9 grams, and the nicotine comes to around 8.5 milligrams per portion. The Byron Anis has a higher nicotine of 11 milligrams per portion. The 1 gram portions, 20 portions in the can, but there's because the portions are bigger, there's actually more in the can than in the XR. So, shall we get into these ones? Where should we start? We'll start with the XR. Brand new to me, never tried this one. Made by Swedish Match with a large catch lid. Okay, I really like General Licorice, so come on. Quite moist and original portions, but slim. A 0.9 gram, normally like that. Okay. A bit of ammonia, but the tobacco comes through in this one, and you get that salty licorice. It's pretty decent. I don't think it smells as good as the General Licorice. Quite maddening that one is discontinued to me. Put one in. good fit, slim, large. Now, for what used to be my favorite snus of them all. Made by SPT, Scandinavian Premium Tobacco. Now been taken over by GN Tobacco since the beginning of February 2016 actually. So they're sort of selling their products. And I really like SPT products, the Byron range and the Taboka. So please keep that taste profile. Okay. Metal tin, this one, very classy. Just like the Byron original, a bit tricky to get into. It sort of feels a bit glued together, but it's worth it. Okay. Pretty moist, maybe not quite as moist as the XR, but the XRange can is a bit newer as well, fresher. Okay, slightly bigger portions. Here we go. Smell. Yeah. You see, Byron has got a bold aromatic tobacco, which is quite unique on the snus market as far as I can tell. And it's coupled with some aniseed, which I like. And aniseed is used as a flavoring in different liquors like Uso, Rapé, Sambuca, also absinthe actually. And I do like those. Okay. Here we go. Let's put one in at the same time. Why not? Okay. Catch lid on this one is on the inside. A little bit tricky to open. There it is. Looking good. So I'll be back with you when I finished both of these cans. The first face-off of the Licorice theme week is officially on. And in the purple corner we have General XR Salmiak, slim large portion, very long names these, with the new XR cans. It has the nicer form factor for me. I like the 0.9 slim portions. And so it has the licorice in it for sure. The root, licorice root, is sweet, so it has sweetness coming through. It does have the salmiak coming through, the salty licorice, but it's not really salty, which is nice. So it's quite balanced between the two. And compared to a Nick and Johnny original portion, I think that one was a little bit heavier possibly than this one. So I actually prefer this one to that one. Having said that, I don't think it's as good as General Licorice was. That was a little bit more integrated with the tobacco. Here, yeah, Swedish match use, good tobacco, but the tobacco never sings in these Salmiak snuses so far for me. It just it gets a little bit dank, a little bit heavy, but it's not quite as heavy as Nick and Johnny portion. I prefer this to Nick and Johnny portion, so I actually quite like it. It's quite robust. It's quite well balanced between sweetness and saltiness. It's a nice snus with decent release of flavor as well, original portion. It works pretty well for me. I'm actually quite pleased with the product. A little bit better than I thought it might be. But it's annoying because it's not General Licorice. A normal nicotine strength on it, I would say. Nothing spectacular there. And in the red corner we have Byron Anis. And as you can see here, it's got Cuban tobacco in this one. So you can't actually get this snus in the United States. Also Norwegian water and Swedish, made in Sweden. So this used to be called Romeo and Julieta. And the Byron original was called Monte Cristo. So those are famous cigar brands. They're not branded like that anymore, but it should be the same snus. And the Romeo and Julieta was my favorite snus that I tried so far at that point in time. Now this one doesn't have any sweetness because there's not the same sort of licorice root taste to it. But luckily it doesn't have any salty licorice either. There's no salmiak, so it goes all in with the aniseed, which is a different kind of flavor which you get in ouzo, raki and sambuca. So for me, that works better with the tobacco. So what I really like here is, because the Byron series, they have a very specific tobacco taste. It's a bold, aromatic Cuban tobacco in there. And it got a little bit harsh for me in the original version. A little bit more one-dimensional and ashy. But here it unleashes the potential for me. It gets more complex. You get the aniseed and the aromatic tobacco working really well off each other. And so I think that this is the best of the Byrons, where it sort of unleashes the quality of the tobacco at the same time as you get a sort of a fresh licorice taste to it. So I still really like it. It's still it's quite a tough snus to use. It's not mellow or anything like that. It's quite full on taste, but more complex than the original, the Byron original, I think. So I would say for General XR, not as good as General Licorice, but I prefer it to Nick and Johnny portion. So for me, I still like it. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10, that one. Now for the Byron Anis, aniseed. It's a tricky one for me to know exactly where to put it, to be perfectly honest. I like that it's got the potential of the tobacco, so it's one that I can really enjoy for that, and smelling it it's quite wonderful. I don't think I can use it all the time because it is a little bit heavy going still. It's a hardcore sort of snus, all the Byrons really. But the smell is just, if you think aniseed all the time, it can get a little bit tough. But if you think aromatic tobacco, it's a product that I really want to elevate above the other ones in that sense, because the tobacco is really nice for me in this one. I think the General Licorice could have something to say about this one. They will be fighting on the same level, I think. This one is beating the XR for me though. Okay, I'm gonna go in the 5 out of 5 range. It is high, I know, but I'm gonna give Byron Anis an 8.5 out of 10. I'm a little bit kind on this one, I know that, but I think that's specific tobacco coming through, and it's the best Byron, the best by SPT. Should be premiered, I think. The aniseed might get a little bit tough going after a while, but it's really a snus that you should try at least, see if it's for you. So there you go. Next week, on Saturday, we'll still look at licorice snoozes. There will be 2 more licorice snoozes then. And as always, thank you very much to Snus24. I'll see you on Saturday. Bye.